My girlfriend went on a girls' trip with her friends and came back acting like a different person, very cold and distant, and when I tried to ask her friends what happened, they all brushed me off and told me not to worry, but it's hard not to worry when it feels like a stranger came back home. Posted by you/Northwinterfox. So, I, 25M, have been with my girlfriend, 22F, for about a couple of years. We've been living together for a few months, and things have mostly been really good. Like, yeah, little arguments here and there, but nothing major. Last weekend, she went on a trip with her college friends to this lake house/cabin one of their families owns. It was just the girls, kind of a last summer thing before a couple of them move out of state. I was totally fine with it, told her to go have fun, no issues there. But when she got back, something felt off immediately. She walked in, barely looked at me, gave me a quick hug, and then went straight to the bedroom to unpack. She didn't even really say she missed me or anything. We usually text a bunch when we're apart, but she was kind of distant the whole trip too, shorter responses and slower replies. Since she's been back, she's been weirdly quiet. Not mad, just distant. She's been zoning out, not really laughing at stuff like she usually does, and just kind of flat when we talk. I asked her how the trip was, and she literally said, "It was alright," and then changed the topic. No stories, no funny moments, no pics, nothing, which is super unlike her. She normally comes back from any outing with like 10 stories and a ton of photos. The other thing is, she's been journaling a lot since she came back. Which, again, isn't bad, just new. She's always kind of been into mindfulness and stuff. I asked if everything was okay, and she just said she's tired and processing a lot. Whatever that means. I tried pressing gently, and she told me I was being overly clingy and that she just needs a bit of space. I've never been called clingy before, so that kind of stung. I've tried asking her friends if something happened, but they kind of brush it off and tell me not to worry. So now I'm just sitting here like, what happened on that trip that made her come back a totally different person? She's not mad at me, I think? But it honestly feels like she left as one version of herself and came back as another. And she won't let me in at all. I'm trying not to make a big deal out of it, but I feel like I'm being iced out, and I have no clue why. Am I overreacting for feeling really weird and kind of hurt by this? Should I just give her space and stop asking questions? I don't know. This just sucks. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not overreacting. I agree with giving her space to a certain degree, but me personally, if my significant other came back acting so distant and zoned out, I would be concerned about something traumatic. That's also because I know my significant other, and she shuts down when something has upset her. I'd give her a couple more days, then come to her and say, "Hey, I'm worried about you. I'm not upset, but I do want to do a mental check-in. You've been kinda distant and zoning out. Is something bothering you or on your mind? I'm here for you, and I care." I wouldn't even mention since you got back from your trip, I'd leave that part open. She will either A. Appreciate your care and give you some insight, or B. Blow up, at which point you will have to walk away and decide where you want to go from there. Either one of two things happened in my mind. 1. She and her friends got into it, or someone hurt her, or 2. She cheated or did something she shouldn't have. Either way, please update us. Ops response. Thank you. Means a lot. I will update, sooner or later, but I'm giving her space now. Commenter 2. You know her and how she is best, trust your gut. What does your gut say? It's not good that she called you overly clingy when you pressed her. Clearly something is off, and that seems like a deflection. I was just talking to someone who came back from a trip with friends acting different. They didn't have the enthusiasm or interest level from before. Quite frankly, I don't care what happened on her trip or what changed, it was clear that she just wasn't as interested, and I just stopped talking to her. We weren't exclusive, though, so it was much easier to end. I'd say give her some space and just observe her actions/behavior for a bit. See if there's more that's off or strange. If this continues for a few more days, she's going to have a conversation about it. If she is unwilling to communicate, then obviously she's checked out. Question: how has your sex life been in recent weeks/months? Usually, if that changes, slows, or whatever, it's not a great sign. Ops response. Yeah, I'm hoping she's willing to open up after some time. Our sex life has been great, honestly. Well, as of recently, of course. She's more reserved now anyway, so that's a given, but we haven't had any complications in the past. We've both wanted it and enjoyed it. Commenter 3. Are her friends single? Ops response. Honestly, I'm not sure. She has mentioned someone's boyfriend, which might be one of the girls from the group. Commenter 4. Trust your instincts. No one asks for space from a partner if everything is fine. Her calling you clingy is her telling you nicely to bug off. Something happened that caused her to go into a funk. If she's talking to all her friends but being distant with you specifically, that's not normal. She cheated. Maybe she feels guilty, but at the same time, she's not sorry. Maybe she's second guessing her relationship with you. Ops response. I don't know. I'm not ready to bring up the topic of whether she cheated or not. She's always made it clear she values us and our relationship. I trust my instincts, but I also need to step back maybe a bit. Thanks for your response. Update 1 day later. So yeah. First off, thanks to everyone who commented or messaged me, it always helps, even a little bit, to talk about this. I read everything, even if I couldn't reply to everyone. Some of it helped, some of it, to be honest, just made me feel worse. Still, thanks. Anyway, getting to the update, it wasn't really a planned discussion or anything, it just kind of happened. I had earlier asked one of her friends if something was going on. She again didn't really open up but told me it wouldn't be her place or job to say. I thought I wouldn't get anything out of her, so I just said, F it, and decided I'd try and talk to my girlfriend later. She came home from work and was just acting off again, the usual. Barely said anything, didn't eat the dinner I had prepared earlier, almost immediately went for a long walk outside, and afterward went straight to the shower, spending a long time there. Later, she just stayed in our bedroom, lying around and not really engaging with me. I haven't seen her writing in her journal today, and honestly, I don't think much of it. I went in after a while just to ask her about her day, gently. I wasn't pressing or nagging, just calmly asked if she could please talk to me and told her I care about her and how she feels. I told her I wasn't trying to fight or blame her or anything, I just wanted to understand what's going on, and since we always share everything, it's unfair to keep me in the dark. I told her I'd support her either way, whatever it was. She didn't say much, just kept mumbling about not knowing what to say, not really feeling it, and being tired, etc. So I stepped back, spent some time on my own, and went for a walk. Eventually, later today, she started opening up a little. I guess she had enough time to reflect and gather her thoughts. I'm not going to put every single word she said here in quotations because it feels kind of personal, and I'm still trying to process it myself. But basically, yeah. Something happened on the trip. With her and the girls. She didn't say word for word what she did in detail, but made it really clear that it went way past what would be okay in a relationship. Like, way past. There were plans for drinking during the trip. I know my girl drinks, and I do too, it has never been a problem. I was expecting it, I think it's normal, and I always encourage her to have fun if she wants to, since I trust her. She's been to raves, parties, etc., and I have never seen a problem with that. It's not my right to limit her hobbies, even if I don't always match her energy. Mind you, she has never been a heavy drinker, at least not around me, and we've never had to talk about her alcohol usage. She's been a well-behaved adult for all our relationship, and if she has been drunk, it's always stayed well within the limits of good taste. She said what happened wasn't planned and that it just kind of did and that she wasn't herself, which honestly just made me feel a knot in my stomach, like she was preparing me for something really, really bad. So I encouraged her to just say it, that she had already said enough for me to not back down now. I deserve to know about this. She said the trip honestly went well regarding the original plan. They drank, went to the sauna by the lake, swam, played games, hung around, normal stuff. Doesn't sound awful, right? Sounds like a normal weekend trip with friends. So later that night, they had been drinking more, partying, listening to music, enjoying themselves. Some of them were drinking and hanging out in the hot tub, and some had stayed inside the cabin playing a board game and talking. My girlfriend kind of talks in circles about this and tries proving during our talk how it was, in the end, a good trip and that they all enjoyed it. Eventually, though, she gets to the point and tells me why she's been down. Later in the evening, someone had suggested they do a drinking game. Honestly, I don't see an issue with that since I like partying and games too, it's all just good fun within its limits. They had played spin the bottle, the usual, with a twist of drinking or doing the dare. A couple of the girls were pushing it, encouraging it. She admitted she went along with it and wanted to play along, but the way she said it. I don't know. She looked ashamed and kind of said it quietly. The dares had been innocent and normal at first, kind of tame stuff, the usual you hear everywhere. Who's your celebrity crush? What's your darkest secret? Sing a particular song. I imagine the rest would be along those lines. But they had gotten out of hand as the game went on and more drinks were consumed. Some of the girls had dared others to kiss each other, pick out their Mary/F/kills, pour drinks into each other's mouths, and stuff like that. Obviously, that sounds like something that can lead to something very bad very quickly. My girlfriend says she didn't know better or deny a good time. She says she felt it was fun in the moment and didn't feel that she did anything wrong, and that it was all consensual and nobody minded it, and that it's normal for girls to do after getting tipsy. She also says she doesn't even remember everything that well, had a hangover the next day, and isn't even sure if she did anything. She says she feels bad because she obviously doesn't like girls that way or that she normally doesn't do these kinds of things and only kind of watches from the side. She never explicitly says what she participated in or what exact actions she took during the game, but she talks like she's guilty, so it's all a bit confusing. Sigh. There was one girl there with them on the trip, let's call her Ellie. I've met her, she's the fun, easygoing type who doesn't seem like she would hurt me or her in any way. I asked my girlfriend if she was there since I knew she was with them, and I wanted to know if I was totally wrong about her. Honestly, I wanted to know if they all sucked and played along knowing she has a boyfriend. My girlfriend said Ellie hadn't participated and kind of left the cabin when things started happening. She had mentioned she wasn't feeling well and that she would be sitting this out, and just kind of left and came back later in the night. They had talked later that night outside, but she says nothing happened between them. Which, honestly, I believe, and I don't know why she brought it up, since Ellie's actions don't sound suspicious anyway and I wouldn't have expected her to do anything between them, so this just feels like a weird extra detail she added in. Also, I'm not saying it would have been Ellie's duty to tell anyone off, I honestly just wanted to know if I was wrong about her and if everyone there was alright with everything. My girlfriend said she hasn't talked to her or the girls much after the trip. I want you all to know I didn't yell at her or get angry, just kind of sat there. I didn't know at first how to respond, since she didn't sound like her usual considerate self. She kept saying she didn't know why she shut down and that she's been feeling horrible since. That she didn't know how to tell me and that she needed time to word her thoughts. We've been distant with each other after the talk, and there's just this heaviness between us since she got back, and now I know why. I don't even know what to do now. I told her I needed space and went out for a walk, came back, and now I'm kind of just sitting here in the living room, not really even looking at her. Am I treating her the same way now? I'm shutting her out and ignoring the problem, the elephant in the room, not acknowledging things are messed up. Obviously, I shouldn't be okay with this. I don't see a life without her. So her behavior is hard to accept. Should I sleep somewhere else tonight? Should I break it off immediately? Everything is just a mess in my head and I don't know what to do or how to approach it. I've never been the confrontational type either. I love her. I really do. But I don't know if I can look at her the same way again, not just because of what she maybe did, but because she came home and shut me out, made me feel like I was crazy for even noticing something was wrong. I feel like this is something she should have told me immediately. This obviously affects us. I don't even know if there's an us after this. We've set clear boundaries in our relationship and never crossed them. The fact she's still leaving details out bothers me. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Not really looking for advice right now, you're free to comment though and tell me your thoughts. I just needed to get this all out of my head. This feels like a dream, and not the good kind. /relevant comments. Commenter. This is always going to be a cloud over your relationship, if you continue to remain in it, until she is completely honest with you. You cannot forgive or rebuild from something when you only have guesses and ideas as to what actions were taken to violate your relationship. You're owed the truth, whatever else comes of this. And no, kissing, intimate touching, oral, or sex are not things that we, as women, just happen to do with one another when we're tipsy. That's not how drinking works. Sure, it lowers inhibitions and impairs judgment, but it does not flip some bicurious switch that we can't resist. If it did, Ellie would have had no reason to retreat to her cabin and avoid whatever happened. You're being trickle-truthed and gaslit, though at this point, let's just call it what it is, you're being lied to about having been cheated on. At the very least, I'd advise, first and foremost, no sex until STI testing has taken place. Second, the truth, all of it, must come out if there's any hope of repairing this relationship, if that is worth your time and effort. Commenter 2. She's obviously trickle-truthing. If she didn't have any idea what happened, then she wouldn't have been so depressed the last couple of days. She knows. You don't have to set a deadline for her, you have to set a deadline for yourself. Tell her that if she hasn't come 100% clean by tomorrow, then the two of you are over. And then act on it immediately. There's no excuse whatsoever for her not to have come clean already. If you think she's still not telling you the truth, then you need to have a phone call with someone else who was there and who will listen to her when you tell that person to be 100% honest with you. If you still doubt the level of honesty, then just bounce out of this relationship. In reality, she's already ended it with her behavior. Op adds an edit to his post. I phoned her friend, this time demanding further answers since I can't get them from my girlfriend. She confirmed that there were more people joining them over the weekend than just their initial girlfriend group and said she wouldn't know what to tell me, since she really didn't care, and told me to go over it with my girlfriend if I was so concerned. Granted, I was emotional and raised my voice since I'm desperately trying to get a clear answer here. She and Ellie are the only ones I can reach, since I don't know any of the others' contacts. I'm so effing done fishing for answers when no one gives me anything, it all seems useless. I'm not home at the moment and don't feel like going back. Second update 1 day later. It's a lot. Just writing this for closure, for myself and for the people who followed this. I'll be staying somewhere else for a couple more days, maybe, before starting to make preparations for splitting off. I finally had a proper conversation with Ellie. It wasn't quick, we talked all evening. She didn't seem to want to at first, but eventually, she opened up. She was the only one who wasn't drinking or participating, and I respect her for being straight with me. She told me that. The group was drinking heavily, and at one point, some of the girls invited a few guys over who were staying nearby, guys I had no idea would be there. She's not sure if this was the plan all along or if it was the girl's idea in the moment, she at least didn't know about it beforehand. The drinking game started getting more intense with the guys involved. According to her, my girlfriend ended up making out with two different people, one of the girls, the same girl who told me not to worry about it and wouldn't give answers when I contacted her originally, and one of the guys. There was a lot of touching that wasn't just playful. As far as Ellie knows, she didn't F anyone. She says she left and doesn't know what happened afterward, but it was far past anything I'd ever be okay with and definitely past anything we ever agreed was acceptable in our relationship. What hit me the hardest was how, according to Ellie, my girlfriend wasn't even that drunk at that point. Tipsy, sure, but not blacked out or out of control. She had been laughing, very involved, and didn't seem pressured. She wasn't out of it like she tried to make it sound. Ellie left because she was uncomfortable, and when she returned later, my girlfriend was still full-on party mode, her speech blurry, and she was a mess. I've talked with my girlfriend, well, my now ex, over the phone, but all I got was mumbles or silent treatment. I flat out said I know what she did and that she could at least admit it to me before I break it off. I asked if I meant anything to her or if all our time together has been fake or just an act. I asked how long she's had problems with drinking, since I've always thought of her as a mature and smart woman. She was sobbing and told me she could help me understand if I came home, that she could make up for it, and that even if she did do it, she still loved me. So I'm done. I can't stay in something where I'm lied to, gaslit, and made to feel like I'm overreacting for noticing something is off. She came home and shut down instead of being honest. She let me stay confused, even when I was trying to comfort her, when she should have been honest the second she walked through the door. Hell, she should have admitted it as soon as it happened. Not that it would have made what she did right. Some people here on Reddit messaged me privately to offer support. Some have reached out through something called Reddit Care Resources. Honestly, I had no idea that existed. I'm in no need of that, but I'm thankful anyway. Thank you. Some have helped more than you would have had to. Others, though, have been blowing up my DMs, sending hate messages, calling me names, and telling me I was pathetic for how I handled it. Someone asked for my ex's socials so they can have fun with her since I don't know how to. Some have told me they straight up don't believe me. Which, fair, you're not supposed to take everything at face value that you read. But to those people, congrats. I don't know what you expected me to answer, but you added nothing of value to my life. I've realized it was probably a mistake to start posting about this online at all in the first place. This will be the last update. I'm moving forward. Don't expect further updates. Thanks to the ones who cared, and my heart goes out to anyone dealing with anything similar. You're important, and you deserve better. Love yourself and know your worth. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. That trickle truth, man, it hurts. I knew it. She was definitely downplaying it to gauge your reaction to the makeout session with a girl, to avoid the real kicker, which is her having some fun time with another dude. Yeah, she's a lost cause, trust is gone. Don't ever go back to this, man. Keep your head held high, because Ellie shows you that not everyone is like that. There are women out there who can be true to themselves and avoid issues like this with a sound mind. Do yourself a favor and know that you trusted your gut, you didn't step down when it got tough. You asked questions, you poked when it got difficult. You did all that you could. She made many choices that ended up ruining the relationship. But know this, it would have happened anyway. If it wasn't this trip, it would have happened elsewhere. You are lucky that it happened right now, so you aren't wasting more of your time with someone who isn't worthy of your time and effort. Find a hobby to let off some steam. Working out, running, and boxing are all great. Not only will you let off steam, but you'll also get healthier from doing it. Good luck, dude. It does get better.